They call it quiet quitting. We've reported on the suddenly popular work trend. Doesn't actually involve quitting at all, just doing a lot less. Like working overtime? No thanks. Late night emails? Ignore those. Pick up an extra project to get ahead? Hard pass. Some workers argue it's about finding a work-life balance. Others don't see it that way. In a recent post on LinkedIn, Ariana Huffington wrote, "Quiet quitting isn't just about quitting on a..."
Is it quitting on life or trying to get a life? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Job. It's a step toward quitting on life. Our next guest agrees. Mr. Wonderful's here, Kevin O'Leary, co-star on Shark Tank and chairman of O'Leary Ventures. Kevin, you're the best. So quiet quitting, a temporary pandemic hangover, byproduct of low unemployment, or a long-term thing?
You know, Shep, the economy's changing. Obviously, we're going into a whole new metric where some people work at home, some people work at distance, some people go back to the office. We don't know how it's going to shape out in the long run. It's more project-based. In other words, you're hired and you're trusted to...
Trying to finish things off. That's more related to the company owner than just the employee. You pay him to do something, he's going to do it, depending on the time frame. Right? There are things that you can do in 5 minutes, there's things that you can do in 20 hours. You pay them by the hour anyway. Right? Maybe you should start paying them by project. That would make a difference.
Finish things off. Now, some ideas are bad ideas, and some ideas are stupid ideas, but very rarely can you combine both. And that's what we have here. This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard in launching a career. And what I'm hoping I can do, and I've told the recruiters, because I've got about 10,000 people inside of the companies that we're investors in, plus the supply chains, I've asked them, can we identify these people early and help them get jobs with our competitors? Because this is the most competitive weapon I've ever seen. If you're a quiet quitter, you're a loser. You're un-American. That's what I think.
No, my friend. I'm gonna try to restrain the urge to say fuck off. But no, that's the whole point of this country. Freedom, right? You don't have to lock yourself in a job that barely pays you minimum wage, surviving wage. Right? You have your own life. Family, kids, friends, whatever. You're trying to balance those two, right? Am I wrong or not? You're trying to balance work and your own life, so I don't quite see it that wrong.
You know, workers are so in demand. We started talking, I don't know, a year and a half ago about how power to the workers, power to the workers. This is part of that, right?
It could be, but really your job is to find something you're passionate about and find a way to work with your team. Really, it's about culture. You know, I'm an investor in small business in America, 50 to 500 million. That is 65% of our economy. These are family businesses. You build a culture. When you bring somebody in that slams shut their laptop at 5 o'clock, you're introducing a cancer into your culture. Eventually, you're going to have to do surgery and cut it out. The whole idea would be avoid.
But that's because business owners, entrepreneurs, they don't need people to work for them. They need robots to work for them that will work through everything, holidays, birthdays, funerals, whatever. Just stay and do the work. That's what they need.
These people, I don't know where this started. It's the worst idea I've ever heard because it's against what we...
I think it started when people realize that they just don't make enough, doesn't matter how much they work, they don't make enough money to survive. That's where it starts. At the point you realize, why do I have to work 16 hours a day and only be paid for 8? Right? Makes sense.
Do in business. We try and build teams that work together to achieve something, set objectives and work together. It doesn't matter whether you're working anymore at 6 a.m. or 2 in the morning. You're just getting your job done. That's the free...
That's the difference. That's where he's coming from. That's his point of view as a business owner. He just needs people to work non-stop, 24 hours a day, if it's possible, 30 hours a day. some regular people have regular lives that they need to attend to, family, kids, whatever.
Freedom the economy's given you now on a distance basis. Nobody's asking you to work 9 to 5. They're asking you to get your job done. If you walk in your interview and say, I only work from 9 to 5 and then I stop working, I can't wait to get you into my competitor. Help me find these people. This is like a virus. This is worse than COVID.
All right, I got it. You're on the fence about quiet quitting.
Yeah, they're expecting everybody to work the way they want to work because they feel like they have to make, as a business owner, right? Your purpose is to grow, evolve, be better. But the problem is they don't pay their employees for that amount of work. You know what I mean? You pay them by the hour. Start paying people by projects, and at that point you'll see productivity, right? Because everybody wants to finish their job as soon as possible. But if you're paid hourly and you have a 9 to 5 or whatever schedule, you're just gonna drag it through all that time to finish and go home or wherever you wanna go. But if you're paid by project, your work ethic is going to change. You're gonna be like, oh, there's this project, usually takes what, 20 hours. Maybe I can work faster and finish it in 15 hours, so then I can have some time for myself. That might be a difference. I used to have my own company, and when I had a job that was it was 12, 14, 16, 18 hours work, and especially when I worked by myself, I was just sitting down and go through all the work as soon as possible, finish it, go home, take rest next day. You cannot motivate people by paying them hourly. You can only motivate them paying them by a project, because that will push them to finish faster, as long as the work is quality. But that's another story.
All day long around here, we've been reporting on what an awful day it was on the street. Do you see the market downward trend continuing now?
Yeah, I do, for a while. I mean, we've really got to adjust to the hawkish comments that Powell made today, and that's okay. I've seen this movie multiple times. Any investor that's invested for more than 20 years has been through multiple cycles like this. And what happens is, at the end of the day, you get that jolt down, almost 1,000 points. Volatility is really the hallmark of Fed rate hikes. But we have a remarkably strong economy, Chef. And that's because we printed over $6 trillion, and it's still sloshing around out there. The reason we have inflation is we keep printing. So, you know, we've got a lot of bills, keep printing money. We're going to have this problem systemically till we stop doing this. And you can debate the politics of it, but the midterms are coming. And I'm going to make an assumption right now that after the midterms, there'll be no more bills printing any more money. Not that I want to get into politics, but I think we're done doing this now.
You know, Fed Chair Powell said more rate hikes are coming. Sounds like more and more are coming until they see inflation is under control. Is that the right move?
I think it is, because we're at 8.2%. So if you're sitting in cash, you're basically being taxed at 8%. But really, half of this inflation is supply chain damage. And so what we really need to do is we've got this remarkable situation we've never had before. We're at full employment with remarkably hyperinflation. That's never happened before. So you have to start to question the productivity of full employment. We need more employees in all businesses to fix the supply chain problem. So I'm hoping the Fed, and Powell's done a masterful job. I really have to give him credit, although he's not popular everywhere, but he's really trying to land that plane. He's doing a good job. He's trying to jawbone it a bit. But at the end of the day, half our problems just fix our supply chain. I've got companies that can't buy anything anymore because they can't get the supplies out of the Port of Los Angeles. We have to make it here 30% more expensive. We've got a lot of work to do in this economy, but I'm always bullish. I love entrepreneurship, and that's why, as we started talking about quiet quitting, just say no.
So in conclusion, companies are starting to notice that their employees are not overworking themselves for the company anymore. That might be because if their employees are starting to realize that it doesn't matter how much you work for a company, there will always be a cap on the salary they can pay you. And once that level is reached, they have no other choice than fire you and hire the next hungry person behind you that they can pay way less than they pay you. So if you don't have a job security, then why would you even struggle to work more than you are paid for? In Romania, we have this proverb that says you should pay your employees enough to be happy. But as an employee, you should work as much as you're paid to. So in the end, it's all about money. Companies want to make more money, raise their profits, but without actually paying their employees more. It's okay. You as a company make all the money you can, but keep your employees happy. You don't keep them happy, they won't overwork anymore. Makes sense, right? But I guess they get upset because they don't make as much profit because their employees don't work as much anymore. So now what they're doing, they're starting some drama.